Good morning, everybody. John Swift here. It's actually afternoon. It's 1 o'clock-ish. You'll never guess where I am today. That's my Shatner impersonation. We're right here. Manatee Village Historical Park, Bradenton, Florida. And check out something else awesome. Not that sign, but this awesome train. It has a little sign on it that says 1913. Kind of one of those cool old steam trains. I don't think it's working, but it's in pretty decent condition for something that's over 100 years old. I don't really have any specifics on it other than it's part of the Manatee Village Historical Park. They should have named it either Manatee Village Park or Manatee Village Historical Park, but that's okay. You can actually come on part of this train. Okay, so here's a little bit of a climbing on Old Cabbage Head is not permitted. It looks like a picture of kids climbing on the top. I think you can walk in it. I don't think you can climb on it, or else this would be boarded up. Pretty much, right? That makes sense. Wow. Never, ever been on a steam train that I can remember. Maybe I have when I was just little. It's very dark in here. So, with my layman's experience, it looks like this was like the boiler or the fire area, and you've probably seen old movies where they burn wood to make steam and they pull open the door and they throw the logs in there. That looks like basically what's going on. I wonder if this is how you drive the train from this area. This is how you just sort of looked out the window to see. It's not really a great view, is it? Look at, there's kind of like a big, I wonder if this is like a brake thing, a big lever here. Isn't there some kind of job, like, I don't know anything about trains, but isn't there like a brakeman? Like, it almost seems like you just get the engine running and just let her go, and then when you're ready to stop, you just apply the brakes. But I guess this is where you'd stand and you'd drive the train. And I guess if there wasn't really any trees or anything, you could see pretty far as far as that goes. I imagine this is where you would put all the wood and stuff. Just kind of a big hold. I don't know. I wonder what was in here. Maybe water or something. There's kind of some like some lids on here. Pretty freaking awesome. Like I always say, I've never seen one of these before, but I've never seen one up close actually. One of the things that are sitting right out front is an old-timey wagon. It doesn't really say any information on it, but check out this high-tech spring seat. Look at that, can you see it bouncing? That was what your suspension was back in the old days. I don't think there was really much else here. I have no idea if this is a reproduction. It's got a lot of wear and tear on it. It's pretty awesome though. So look how thin these wheels are. Wonder how well that did when you went through dirt and things like that. How well a very thin wheel. I wonder if it tended to get bogged down because it was probably pulled by horses. Of course. The floors are so squeaky in here. Did a very nice job restoring this this carriage here. I got a vintage telephone over here. I don't know that I've been able to really. I've seen these before. I never really touched one, but this thing is like actually really heavy. And look at the microphone. That's pretty weird looking, huh? It's pretty big. The only place I can remember like definitively seeing this was on a Petticoat Junction show where they would do the thing, the thing, and talking to the little speaker. What would you think this thing is with the weird handle on it? It says, look, what is it? This is a lunch pail. Weird. I think it's made out of tin. Interesting. There's all kinds of little stuff in here. I wonder if that is some kind of aspirin down there. Some foot powder in there. All kinds of little tiny things down there. Quinine pills. I'll have to look that one up.
Association was formed in 1988. Through adopted breed standards and an evaluation.
They have a little neat video there on Crackle. How am I saying Crackle? This is a cavalry saddle bag. It's kind of cool because you can actually touch this one. It's a little small one, little horse saddle bag. I don't know what's going on there, but maybe that one fell apart a little bit. Pretty cool. I love to touch stuff, so it's neat that you can actually touch that. I guess this is a lot of war memorabilia, maybe World War II stuff. I got a lot of interesting war posters here. Submarine service, defend America's freedom. I've never seen a lot of these before. America will always fight for liberty. Look at that, they got some hand grenade down there. Little aircraft model, crafted from shell casings. Those actually look like, I believe these are the bullets right there. Those look like 50 calibers. And then maybe the shells are the other part in the back there. But I actually have one of those 50 caliber shells. I've never seen anything like that. That's pretty neat. It's a very cool bayonet. What is that? That's got to be a World War I helmet, right? Some army headgear. Very cool stuff down here. So this place is basically like a park setup with a lot of buildings that I think have been moved here from other areas. So we're gonna go sort of around the area and check out all these interesting buildings and see what we can see. So this is the Boatworks building. I didn't do my reading. I'm getting too excited to stop and read about stuff, but hopefully you can kind of sort of figure out what was going on here. It's basically a barn-like building with lots and lots of tools for boat building. They said a lot of times they use pine tar to seal these things, I guess. You used to build wood boats with wood and then seal them with pine tar. And you can see there's all kinds of saws in here, all kinds of stuff up here. Those are called shackles, right? A lot of shackles in here. I guess this is the the template for the boat that you would build the hull around. What do they call it? Yeah, it's called a template or something like that, right? Template? Anybody? Template? So this is the blacksmith's shop. Very cool. You can get a little feel for all the tools. I don't think that's an original one. It's a little newer looking, but there's the furnace. It almost feels like somebody does demonstrations in here. I've never seen them. I've never been here with a demonstration. But there's your typical anvil and your water bucket where you would dip the hot metal in there. All the forging tools over here, all kinds of stuff. Awesome. There's some ornamental stuff there. I guess that's kind of I'm just guessing and saying that maybe that would be like a fence ornaments for fence and metal iron work. That's my best guess. I'm just not an expert, folks, and I don't claim to be. It's pretty cool stuff though. So this big giant thing down here is a turpentine still, which from the information it's given is what they get turpentine from, obviously, and pine tar, I guess, which were two good ingredients in building ships. I think they used turpentine for thinning paint and thinning things like chemicals and paint and varnish and all that kind of stuff. So you could use the varnish. You'd have to thin it out first, or else it'll be just like a globby mess. It's a big. I'm sure that was a fun project. But there's kind of a photograph of some guys on top of the still there. So the Stevens house here, apparently it was acquired by a business and was moved here in 1982. It's a beautiful house with a tin roof style. A lot of times they used to call these cracker houses. If you want to look up what cracker house is, you can look that up on the internet, because I can never explain stuff right. But classic southern porch with a little porch spring right there. This place is basically just a self-guided tour. pretty neat. They got some really nice furniture in here. I can tell this little baby piano. Wow, it's really tiny by comparison. And they got, there's a, what do they call those? Some kind of wheel that you make thread and stuff on there. Pretty great stuff. There's a vintage Edison phonograph there. Nice. Nice stuff. Here's your basic dresser here. The room with the dresser. Little baby stove there. Some looks like a little kid's bed there in the corner. And then a parent's bed and the classic wardrobe, like the Witch in the Wardrobe thing. They didn't really have a closet, and then your classic wash basin in the corner there. You know, one thing I really like about this place is that it's completely open and you can touch a lot of the stuff. And unlike a lot of museums, unfortunately, you can't go in and touch everything. Here's a little sewing room with the other on the other side with the weird roof. And a vintage sewing machine here, but you can actually touch this machine. But I've been to Thomas Edison's house, and a lot of the stuff is, you can't even actually walk in the room. So this place is a real treasure, really. I mean, check this out. This whole kitchen's open. You can walk in the kitchen here and check out all the stuff, the ironing board and fire extinguisher. There's the old cupboard. Look, you can actually come in here and touch this stuff, which is just, I love touching things, obviously. Some vintage stuff. I wonder if this is like a little broom, a little dust broom. You can, this copper is actually made out of copper there. That's pretty neat. I don't know if I've ever seen a copper thing. Lots of kitchen-y stuff and a vintage stove here. That is pretty neat. It actually has the name of the stove, and it has like a little temperature gauge on there, and pretty basic, no insulation, just real sort of bare bones. Neat. The table's all set up with here with some vintage, ready to eat. You can actually touch the glasses. This one unfortunately hasn't been washed in a while, which is okay. That's perfectly fine. There's some kind of little, probably a little coal heater in the corner there. Just guessing. Looks like just a little standalone heater. Maybe you could maybe you could put food on the top and keep it warm. Look at that. Little makeshift cabinet in the corner. We got some cream cheese. And I believe that this is some kind of fireplace deal where maybe you'd pick up coals with the fireplace. You can even touch that too. It's pretty awesome, but I'm being very careful not to touch anything and drop anything. Whoops, I put that back the wrong way. Don't tell anybody I put that back. If you want to come out and see some awesome history and touch some awesome history and do this, move that around and look at this thing and pump this thing. These things you can find a lot. Water pump. Classic. Some washboards out here. Look at this. You can still see the name on this. Funny story. My grandfather had an old washing machine, and it had a wringer on it like this. See how this rings? You put the clothes between it like that. This is for the young people. And you stick your clothes right in there, and then that would wring your clothes dry, basically. Well, apparently my grandfather got his hand caught in one of these, an electric one, because they had an electric one, and his finger was taken off, actually, and he was missing his finger like this. He was an artist, and his right finger, index finger, was taken off in something very similar to this little finger taker offer device. Here's a nice wide shot of the house from the outside. You know, this is a really interesting design. Like I said, it's set up so where the part of the house is on the left, and then there was a big breezeway right in here. You can't see because of the shadows. Big breezeway, kind of a big hallway that the doors could shut there. You could see those doors right there. And then some of the rooms are on the side. I've never seen anything like that, though. It's a pretty, I don't know, fantastic. Whoever had the idea for that, to keep the house cool, was pretty fantastic, I'll tell you. Excuse me, do you know where the bathroom is, sir? The bathroom? Oh, you're using it? Excuse me, I apologize. Wow. A lot of times when you come in places like this, they don't have all the pews, but this place has actually got all the pews and everything. And I guess back in the old days, they used to really rock out because they had their radio here too, so they could get some old-timey tunes. Look at all the lights, all the oil lamps. All the way down, you got oil lamps. Somebody's trying to get in. Run. They're trying to get in. They're trying to get us. Run. So this is the Bradenton Courthouse. It is just in fantastic shape. You can imagine back in the old days where there wasn't many people living here, and just it's almost like an old Wild West type thing.
Your Honor, my client was hornswoggled and hound-struggled, and this is barbarous. I demand a new trial immediately. Well, since you brought that up, I've thought about this case, and I've decided to dismiss.
I think this is maybe where the judges hung out when they weren't doing their TV shows. For some reason, there's a little cow there. I can't read what it says on him. Some little note on that little cow there. Really good shot of what's that guy's name? The first president? I'm just kidding. That's George Washington, and that's basically the shot that's on the $1 bill, right? So this whole place is made out of just, the walls are all made out of boards. It's all wood, the ceiling's made out of wood. They've got a really cool stove here. You can even open it up and look, and they've got a piece of paper. It says Old Meeting House. Wonder if they ever if this thing's ever been used. That's what you would usually use, right, for lighting a fire there. And I guess, what was the deal with this thing? Like you could open it up and throw more wood in the top part or something. I used to have one of these little kids replica stoves that was made out of iron, and I guess you could put your teapot on the top right there and heat that up. Were you actually allowed to spit in court? Is that why they have a spittoon on the floor? Ding! There's none so good. Chiro Cola. Get yours while supplies lasts. There's so many reflections here, I can't get a good shot of that guy. This is the Bunker Hill School. Like everything around here, it's just really well preserved and redone. It's totally amazing. Look at these old school desks. Basically, it had like a little line here you could put your pencils. And then it had like a little tiny cubby down here for your stuff, and a little bench, wooden bench seats for your stuff. Pretty neat. I wonder what that was for. Is that like lunch down there? Like little lunch pails? They actually have like a pen up here and a little bell. This place is just really well themed and furnished. All kinds of great stuff in here. I wonder, maybe that's a poem, an old timey poem, Crossing the Bar. Here's some old Tom Huck Finn hat style hats, like Huck Finn was hanging out here. And of course, that's not original. An actual school photo of my friend Dave Lamond and his classmates back in 1825. Look at this door. I just closed the door. Look at this doorknob. This doorknob's like a weird brown, funky, looks like a glass doorknob. That's really weird, isn't it? I'm just sort of assuming this is kind of like maybe where the chickens hung out, possibly. little chicken coop style little place where they could get up on their little chicken lofts and hang out. And of course, the chickens were encouraged to drink Coca-Cola. There they are, all the chickens. But where is the Coca-Cola cans? I don't see any empty bottles. Maybe they're recycling. And what is that thing below them down there? All right, so that's it, kids, for today. That's basically the whole tour. The only thing we kind of skipped over was the sugar mill, which is right here. The lady, I was just talking to the lady who is sort of watching the place, and she told me about that they do have festivals. So I might come out again when they have one of their festivals, or they have people out here like doing reenactments, and they do like, what is the blacksmith comes out and does that, and I guess they do some sugar mill stuff. But thanks for coming out and hanging out with me here at the general store, the KW Higgins General Store. We'll see you on our next adventure. Make sure you like and subscribe, like the little girl says at the end. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming. Really enjoyed having you. Have a great one.
Please like and subscribe.
I'm really glad I found this bathroom because I've been needed to go for a while. Whew, it's nice to just sit down and take a load off and do your business. Mr. Swift, please tell me, 36 times 5 equals what? It is not 17. Stay after school. Excuse me. Do you know? Excuse me, sir. Do you know where the bathroom is? I'm trying to film something. There's like 800 fire trucks going down there. There's a fire department right here. I'm trying to film a funny bit, and the fire department is messing it up because all you can hear is sirens. Not silence, but the opposite of silence is sirens. I was just trying to take a selfie picture here, and I just noticed this little dude hanging out. You know, it doesn't look like a spider to me. It looks like some other kind. Does anybody know what the heck that is? Interesting little yellow and black bug. Look at that guy. Pretty cool looking little dude. I don't know what that is. He's very curious though. He wants to touch the camera. My little dude.